Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the WCS Season 1 Finals in Korea. We have the second round of 8 match coming up. We just saw Seolki take down his opponent, take down Ro8.
Yeah. And now we're going to go ahead and see who's going to be fighting against Seolki in that round of 4. Is it going to be his teammate SOS once again, or will it be Axiom's Alicia?
And that's going to be a really good match. I feel that the ZVP that we're going to have in the semifinals, I'm actually so jealous you guys are going to cast that, so that's going to be pretty epic. But yeah, who's it going to be? Will Alicia be able to take him out?
Maybe. Alicia, I feel like, doesn't have as much PvP practice lately. You know, being a Pro League Protoss, as SOS is, what that means is you play a lot of PvP, because that's like, it's Pro League, you know, it's a lot of Protoss. So,
the series about Alicia.
I feel like SOS has the advantage, but Alicia is really solid PvP.
Yeah, Alicia has not played too much PvP in Heart of the Swarm in offline conditions on environment just yet. So Seolki, as you said, of course, SOS, he plays a lot more PvP because he's a Pro League player and plays every week in those matchups. So right now we are going into game number 1 in just a few seconds, which is going to be Belcher Vestige. What are your thoughts on that map in the Protoss Mirror matchup?
I really like this map for PvP because the Nexus can cover the ramp, so you have a lot more options, right? You can go for a very fast expansion with a Nexus cannon, and there's really no way to get up there. It's also hard to really blink into the main base. Like, there's no... Yeah, it's a little bit more difficult. You can do it, but it's a pretty safe map, really.
It's from the blink position, it's very similar to Daybreak, where you have a limited area where you can actually use that blink ability to your advantage. So not a map where you see it all too often. As you already said, the Nexus can cover the ramp. And that is something that also comes into play when you see a Protoss versus Terran. A lot of Protoss players deciding to play very greedy, not going into too many gateways. We've seen several builds like this, especially in GSTL, where you can snipe very well. But now in the Protoss versus Protoss, we have Alicia here. Of course, he qualified for WCS America.
Yeah. And by the way, I'm really happy to see Alicia doing well again, because I'm sure everyone remembers when he was my sickest man crush Protoss. And then he got a bunch of second places right in a row, and then he kind of fell off for a little bit, but here he is again. He's doing very well. He's in the round of 8.
Then he fell off grid and you replaced him with Younghwa. He was pretty sad about that.
Younghwa has always been there, okay? He has always been there, Kaldor.
You can only have one man crush Protoss.
I can have as many as I want. I'm a complex human. I can love as many Protosses as I want.
Do they?
And this is another one of them, SOS. I love this guy. He's so clever. He's got his own style. Very intelligent Protoss player.
Oh yeah, he definitely is. And about Alicia, the one thing that was always a little bit heartbreaking is that he took so many second titles. He was like the second MKP basically. Yeah. And he just always felt like he fell short. And especially in Slayers, when he went to MLG, he was not too happy about the support there and didn't really think that his achievements there were really like honored. And yeah, it was a bit sad. Back in the days, then Slayers disbanding, of course. A very sad time.
Well, it looks like we have Belcher, and then we're going to have Akalon, and then Daybreak, and and then Neoplanus, then Daybreak, and then Newkirk Precinct. So PvP, these maps will definitely affect the strategies, at least a little bit. Kind of a funny map to end on that Newkirk Precinct. Not as played as some of these other maps.
Yeah, if we go the full distance here, then we are going into Newkirk, which undergoes a few changes these days and will be in the ladder pool with a changed version. Did you play on that map already?
Newkirk?
Yeah, Newkirk is getting changed a little bit. It's going to be the redesigned or redeveloped.
Yeah, I saw that they have a new one for Pro League because it was like a little bit bad before. But no, I don't really play Newkirk anymore. I feel like it's too easy.
That being said, we are going into game number 1 here in our PvP, the second round of 8 match here. And starting to the bottom right of the map for Team Axiom, WCS America player.
Axiom Alicia from America.
From America, but not really from America.
Yes, actually Korean.
Starting to the top left, we have his opponent in the second mirror match of the day.
Wongjin Stars SOS from Korea.
By the way, we have a sick crowd down here once again, Kaldor. I'm loving it. I'm loving casting these little intimate crowds that actually are so hardcore. They're like, well, you know, we're going to the GOM studio because GomTV is the best TV. And tonight's going to be the best TVT for you and Wolf, huh?
Oh yeah, it's definitely going to be the best TVT. We have a lot of those.
Yeah.
2 in a row, so that's going to be good. I mean, we get every single mirror matchup in one day.
Yeah, they could be fast, though. Hellbats. So, we'll see about that. Now, I'm pretty excited to see what happens here, but I'm a little bit nervous because we had SOS for Sulky in the round of 4 GSL, and then we had Sulky Innovation in the finals. What if we just basically have that all happen again? What do we do?
Would you like that?
Well,
I personally would
the
really
SOS Sulky match was one of the worst I've ever seen in my whole life, so not that one. I want Alicia to win this for sure.
I was more talking about the Innovation match, like having
that
the final.
one, yes.
I would love to have like
take
the
Innovation versus Sulky all day.
I want to see Sulky going 3-0 against Innovation, taking the 3-3, and then having the final map. That would be the most epic final of all time.
Wouldn't that be crazy if he came back, reverse all killed against Sulky in the finals? That would be madness.
That would be pretty cool.
But
all
what
coming
would be
down to
even
one
better
map.
is Sulky just winning and then watching either stream.
Yeah, I would love that too. I would actually love to see his reaction the moment it happens. You should have actually just extended the battle a little bit so that he has to record himself watching the games.
That's pretty funny. Okay, so let's take a look at what is going on here. A double gate opener for Alicia. Now, this can mean that Alicia's going to go for a 3 or 5 stalker pressure. And as far as SOS goes, just a single gateway, and in fact, skipping the Zealot as well. So this is probably going to be a fast expansion, my guess for SOS. It doesn't have to be, though.
Yeah, what do you think on a map like this? What would be your preferred opening going into a match of Belgium?
Well, I just use Parting's exact Blink build that he used a few times in Pro League because it's the most ridiculous build that I've ever seen in PvP. But I also do like a fast expansion with Mothership Core. It's pretty darn strong on this map. You can get right into your Robo and be safe against pretty much everything if you execute perfectly.
Well, the second gate is now done for Alicia, and we have the Mothership Core out for both players. As mentioned before, the one advantage that you really have on Belgium is that with the Mothership Core you can pretty much defend anything. You have a good grasp on your ramp once you have the Photon Overcharge at the natural. But we have now Blink going up against Stargate.
That's right. So SOS getting that Twilight Council. And in fact, he's scouting with his Mothership Core. So this is a little bit of Parting's move. He does this a lot with his Blink openers. And that's going to allow him to get in there. He might actually end up killing 1 to 3 probes before he has to warp out. Or he might just run away if he really wants the energy. So SOS in pretty good shape here. And in fact, throwing up a couple more gates.
Yeah, gateway is already on the way. Blink should be started in just a few seconds here. Very unlikely that we're going to see DTs now. Here comes the Blink upgrade.
And what are we going to see out of SOS? Okay, it's actually going to be an Oracle, which is a good choice, but Blink Stalkers are going to be completely fine against this. You have to give a small edge to SOS's build, especially because he's actually going to scout that it's a Stargate before there's an Oracle in his base.
Yeah, he should see that. And the problem with the Oracle really being it's very, very strong when he goes unscouted into your mineral line, but once you have a few units over there, it's also very fragile, so you can take you down right away. Especially, of course, when in a PvP, we have Blink ready and then can just take it down with a forward blink.
Yeah.
And one of the problems here really being that so far SOS also doesn't know what's going on. Alicia wants to be really aggressive here. Now he sees it.
Yeah, and he's going to kill quite a few probes because Alicia is, as you said, being aggressive, doing this 5-stalker push with the Oracle, and he has gone up to 3 gates. Yeah. So this is a very aggressive Stargate build. And in fact, that Mothership Core doing a great job forcing a warp in at home.
And now we have, of course, the high ground vision. He needs to blink back, but Blink is not ready just yet. Losing one of the Stalkers and taking hits on the Mothership Core. So by now, SOS knows exactly what he's up against.
Ooh. And how many kills has he actually gotten with that?
2.
Not that many, yeah. So the Oracle, not the most effective yet, but he still has it. So that's really important. Having an Oracle out, you'll basically have to leave either your Mothership Core or a couple Stalkers home. If you don't, you can lose a ton of probes.
Yeah, and SOS now, after going into the Blink, he has also the DT, the Dark Shrine, on the way.
Oh, that's an interesting choice. You know, maybe thinking that we aren't going to see a really quick Robo, and if we do, it's going to be making Immortals anyway. So, kind of a interesting decision here from SOS.
The Oracle's sticking around here and trying to take a few additional kills, but the DTs alone, they could do a lot here. Of course, with the Oracle, you always can go for the Envision and have detection. And one of the moves that Blizzard actually made to make sure that Protoss is not forced to go into robotics every single time.
And a good choice it was, that emergency little envision spell. Very useful in exactly this circumstance. But he scouts that the Dark Shrine is on the way, and now he has to decide, do I continue this and actually make DTs? I do think we'll see about at least one.
Here we have the attack immediately on the pylon, powering a lot of those gates. And SOS now using Blink, trying to back off. If he gets the expansion up, whereas Alicia is not getting his Nexus, would give him a huge lead in the economy. But so far, the Axiom player is still trying to make this rest work, going into the main base with the Oracle again.
I love this move, but in fact, there is a Mothership Core there, so he easily deflects it. But that was a really smart move, hitting the Nexus with a couple of Zealots to draw the Stalkers out of the base, and then going in with the Oracle to try to get some kills. Really smart play by Alicia.
At the bottom right, we now have one Void Ray that's going to help Alicia a lot to break out, especially against those Blink Stalkers. And he needs to go down that ramp. He needs to make that work. Here comes the Gravity Beam immediately. The Void Ray moving into. And of course, SOS backing off here, whereas Alicia is now finally able to take his expansion.
Really strong play by Alicia. You know, the one problem is, though, that his Nexus is so much later that the fact that he has his 2 tech roots up, that's nice. But I actually like the tech more of SOS anyways. He already has Blink, which is going to be useful basically for most of the game. And he has his Robo up as well as a quicker expand, whereas this Stargate, how much use is Alicia really going to get out of it now?
I love how he's using this Phoenix, but the problem for him really being that it's immediately being sniped. Here come those DTs though, and they're trying to get into main base, and there is nothing there right now.
Yeah, in fact, Alicia, despite scouting the Dark Shrine, has only the Oracle for detection right now.
Yeah, but he's now getting the Observer, and he actually could try to trap those 2 DTs. Oh, they get a Sentry at least, and the Stalker's moving in again, trying to do damage to the Nexus, maybe even forcing a cancel here with a double DT. Definitely a possibility, but the Observer is now coming into play.
And the DT's going to run away from now, but you know, that was pretty effective overall, right? They got a Sentry, they're kind of stalling him out a little bit. He put some damage on the Nexus. I don't think he's going to get a Nexus kill, though.
No, not really. He was trying to do as much as he could, but now with the Observer in the game, Alicia can be safe here. As you already mentioned, his Nexus is so late that it's really going to be an issue. And Alicia didn't seem to realize that there's a pylon right behind his second base, so he could take that down.
Well, you know what? If Alicia just sits really tight and focuses on scouting and defense, I feel like he's going to be in a good place, because right now he's going up to Colossus Tack, and SOS, this isn't really the most standard thing to follow up Blink with. He's just going straight into 6 gates and charge. So he's going to have a very powerful army, but only if it's out in the open.
Oh yeah, definitely true. And he can of course also, with the Dark Shrine that he now has, go into a couple of Arcans if he decides to go into the charge or attack now. What we have for Alicia here was also the Oracle being taken out. SOS really identifying the flight pattern immediately and jumping forward with those Stalkers, taking it out. And this negates the threat to his mineral line. So at this point he can dedicate all his units to the attack, go to the bottom right. Doesn't have to be afraid that an Oracle is moving into his main base and taking down its economy.
Now this is a really smart move. SOS trying to get in there, and if you blink 4 Stalkers up, you can kill a ton of probes. This time not going to happen, but in the meantime, he is bringing out all his units, and Alicia going to be in a lot of trouble here. Getting force fielded, oh god, but he does warp back. Good for him. Yeah,
that warp back with that recall was really important here, especially saving, of course, the Immortal, which is crucial to his defense right now, taking down those Stalkers of his opponent. And here come the charge lots.
Yeah, he has no SimCity against this, is the big problem. SOS taking a bit of a risk, committing so heavily to this, but Alicia with no buildings in the front is not going to be able to hold it.
There's no targeting with those Immortals. He doesn't target those Stalkers at all. Could have done a lot more damage there, trying to take down Zealots first, but with targeting he could have done so much more.
Yeah, he definitely could have picked off a lot more there. I'm a little bit surprised with that exact execution, but Alicia doing a great job holding right now. Those Immortals being worth their weight in gold, but he needs to be targeting the Stalkers, not the Zealots.
Yeah, huge problem here. He still doesn't target. Now he has nothing else left than Stalkers in the main base and finally attacking them with the Immortals, but he already lost 2 of them, and now suddenly the supply for Alicia 30 behind his opponent.
Yeah, and in fact, he's lost 18 probes now. Really good. In fact, there's still a DT in his base that he hasn't killed. Another huge set of charge lots coming in, and He is going to be broken here. This is really bad. Alicia looks like he's going to be falling in just a moment.
The Nexus down already, going in, trying to snipe the Mothership core here as well. The double base still going strong for SOS. A great economy, taking a magnificent supply lead, and of course also charge of the game. Those Zealots are moving in once more. He's already on top of the ramp, and this is going to be lights out for Alicia in game number 1.
All right, so SOS does take that first game. I do have to say, I feel like Alicia messed up a little bit because I'm pretty fairly certain his Phoenix flew over the 3 additional gates that we're warping in. And when you see someone going up to 6 gates that quickly in PvP, you start to make building walls because they're going for an attack. I mean, you stay on a lower number of gates for a much longer time in PvP so you can get things like Colossi or flying units, whatever it is that you want to go for. But when you go up to 6 gates, it's not like... Gateway units don't age like wine or cheese, okay? They age like milk. You don't want to just make a bunch and sit them there.
They definitely don't get better over time. You don't have to wait for that long. You usually want to move out and attack. I was really surprised with this unit control, especially with the Immortals in both fights. And the Nexus already had a lot of trouble here, was attacking the Zealots with the Immortals. And then on the fight on top of the ramp, once again, he didn't target fire. And he could have defended so much better against this army.
Yeah. And of course, you know, if you see those gates and you've seen that he has a Twilight, you have to be wondering, what is coming? Is this going to be Immortal-based? Is this going to be Zella, Archon? He already has a Dark Shrine. I think you have to lean towards that. So I think you have to start making a building wall. It's not like you have to use the gateways that you make, but you should make them if you see something like that.
Yeah, you definitely should. He should have known what's coming and at least try to defend a little bit better. He was also caught off guard when he was moving into the middle of the map, had to use recall, was just barely able to save that Immortal, and that was really, could have helped him a lot if targeted better than later on in the fight. Yeah. But with the wall there, of course, he would have been in a much better position to defend in the first place.
Well, with the wall, the charge lots just go up against, and you kind of go, well, you shoot them from behind with all your Immortals and Stalkers and throw up some force fields, but unfortunately, that is not how it worked out. Our next map is going to be Aklon Waste, and we're already in there, so let's go ahead and jump into the game.